This is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Good morning, everyone. I am Stephanie Webb.
I'm Ray Collins, and somebody spilled coffee all over the break room.
Okay, so this may have been a learning process. When you start a new job, sometimes you learn things. You don't hit the coffee button brew 2 times.
That's so funny.
Or it will brew 2 times, and then it will turn your break room into a small coffee lake.
I got to give you a hard time about that. I broke a carafe last week, actually, myself.
Okay,
so, anyway.
I had that to look forward to, right?
Yes. John Scalzi is in charge of the coffee maker. Good morning, John.
That sounds like a design flaw to me. I'm just saying.
Right.
Don't you think?
So,
I'm going to go with that. That works so much better.
Yeah. Have you ever been so tired in the morning that you forgot to put the coffee pot under the machine?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes, we have. Guilty.
the worst. Hey, I got some fog out there this morning, a little visibility limiting in some areas. We've had, it kind of ebbs and flows, comes and goes, but, you know, it could be out there on your morning commute, so pay attention to it as you move along because it could come up on you pretty quickly. For instance, in Venice, you have almost 3-mile visibility, but in Sarasota, in places, you have only 3/4 mile. That's how it's working this morning. And that will change with time during the morning hours. As we progress through the afternoon, we will enjoy temperatures that will be up near 80, and we're in the 60s already, which is kind of similar to where we were yesterday. This is probably the last day we'll do 80s before we start to lower our temperatures. First with cloud cover from those showers that you see just to our north. Those will be sinking southward. Then eventually some cooler air will filter in. We'll be talking about that, of course, in a few. Daytime highs today in the low 80s. Back to you.
Thank you, John. Checking first alert traffic right now. Some early build up there on 301 northbound as you head toward downtown Bradenton. Otherwise pretty clear in Manatee County. Farther south now in the northern half of Sarasota. See a couple blips there east of the interstate and Lakewood Ranch on University. Not sure why that's happening already. Also, you'll notice that looks like the Bayfront, rather. 301-41 split, a little problem there. Let's check the South County map. All clear at 5:02 now on your Wednesday morning.
And topping our news this half hour, new this morning, the Manatee County Sheriff's Office is searching for 2 suspects involved in an armed robbery at an AT&T store last night.
Deputies say the thieves came in a store in Parrish, at least one of them armed with a handgun, demanding cash and cell phones. The men fled with several phones and an unknown amount of cash. They are described as African American, 6 feet tall, thin builds, black clothing. If you can help, you're asked to call the Manatee County Sheriff's Office.
This morning, the special election results are in for the State House District 72 seat.
This was the Democratic primary race to see who goes on to the general election in February. Margaret Good and Ruta Gennari both made their first runs for public office. They're hoping to replace Alex Miller, who resigned earlier this year after a few months into her first term. And in the end, it wasn't even close. Good won with 72% of the vote. Gennari, 27%. They now face the Republican and Libertarian candidate in 2 months in that general election. Well, as the population continues to grow and the roads do not widen, traffic is an issue from Longboat Key up to Anna Maria Island.
FDOT is now looking at solutions to that problem. ABC 7's Rick Adams has the story.
Well, traffic does continue to be a major issue here on the Barrier Islands. FDOT did get a chance to hear some input from a lot of folks. The cars keep piling on, and so do some of the frustrations. The Florida Department of Transportation is looking to ease traffic on the Barrier Islands in Sarasota and Manatee counties. On Tuesday, FDOT had a chance to share some of the results from the nearly year-long study, taking a closer look at the issue.
What we develop is a number of alternatives from short-term implementable things like striping and pavement markings, sidewalk fixes, really small things that can really be implemented very quickly, to much longer-term possible solutions.
Some of the long-term solutions include possibly adding roundabouts, a park and ride, a water taxi, and major improvements to the bridges. Mark Atkinson lives on St. Armands and sees the traffic headaches firsthand. He says dealing with these traffic problems has become a way of life, especially having to give yourself a lot more time to get to where you need to go.
You have to control your pace to get to where you want to go. And not everybody has to do that in life, but we have to do it out here on these islands.
Someone else who sees these traffic issues firsthand is Holmes Beach Police Chief William Tokajer. He tells us what FDOT is doing is a big step in the right direction.
I think it'll improve it. I don't know that anything will stop the traffic problem. You got to remember, the word is out. The island is beautiful. People are going to want to come. We're trying to put 100 pounds of potatoes in a 5-pound sack.
This was the first public meeting on the Barrier Islands traffic study of what FDOT officials say will be many more. All those public meetings are expected to take place into the middle of next year. And FDOT officials say the earliest that any work will be done will be late next year or early in 2019. Reporting from Longboat Key, I'm Rick Adams, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Unusual story here. A parish man was sentenced to federal prison for attempting to file a false lien against a federal judge. Wayne Smith, found guilty back in July. 2 years ago, he filed a lawsuit against several New Jersey officials claiming that his constitutional rights had been violated. Last year, he attempted to record 3 separate liens against several individuals at the Manatee County Courthouse and claimed that the New Jersey government, as well as the state of Florida, owed him $2 million for violating his constitutional rights. Well, he was sentenced to 3 years and 10 months now in federal prison.
And a push to expand gun rights is being blocked in the Florida Senate. Yesterday, a Senate panel voted down 3 separate gun bills, including a measure that would have lowered criminal penalties for concealed weapons permit holders who violate the ban on openly carrying guns. The vote means it's unlikely the Senate will consider any new gun-related legislation in the annual session that starts up next month. After the vote, State Senator Greg Steube, a Bradenton Republican who has pushed gun bills the last few years, said that he has no plans to bring any other gun-related legislation forward.
Well, here's your chance to go fishing and make some extra cash next year. The state will be offering $25,000 to help remove lionfish from the sea life population. Lionfish are a non-native invasive species that can reduce native fish populations and negatively affect the overall reef habitat. This program runs from May through September next year. 6 to 8 lionfish will be tagged at each of 50 randomly selected public reef sites throughout the Atlantic and the Gulf. You can find those reef locations at the website called reefrangers.com. Today is Charlotte County's 13th annual Shop with a Cop event. Kids get to shop for Christmas presents across a variety of Walmarts in Charlotte County. 125 students are chosen to receive a $100 gift card and shop with members of both the Punta Gorda Police Department and the Florida Wildlife Commission. Items bought are then wrapped on site by volunteer elves. There'll be other events at Walmarts in Englewood, Murdoch, and also on the Kings Highway area.
New this morning, the popular PBS series Antiques Roadshow will soon be making a stop in Sarasota. The network's most watched ongoing series will stop on the Suncoast on Thursday, April 12th during a 5-city tour. Now, admission to the event itself is actually free, but you have to register for tickets ahead of time in order to be eligible. A random drawing will then be held to see who gets a limited amount of tickets in early March. For more information on how to sign up for the drawing, just head over to mysuncoast.com.
Looking for a job? Manatee Technical College is hosting its 4th annual Career Hiring Fest today. Attendees can learn more about local jobs. Hiring managers from over 50 companies will be on hand, and career counselors will be available to answer any questions. This free event runs from 4 to 7 today at the Manatee Technical College. Sometimes you get some good jobs out of those.
Absolutely. You can find some great ones in there.
Sure.
Some good stuff.
Yeah.
Good
Hope
stuff going
so.
on the Suncoast.
Want to keep the young folks in town, right?
That's
Absolutely.
exactly right.
Keep them all here, grow that future for this area.
That's right. So we can keep an eye on them.
Yeah. They make better coffee.
That's right.
Yes.
Some changes, boy, big changes coming up by the weekend. We'll be talking about that again today.
Also, head first alert traffic, and bringing your Christmas tree home can be more dangerous than you may realize. We'll have a story for you.
And coming up a little later in the hour, we're going to update you on those wildfires devastating Southern California. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
So many possibilities worth exploring. Minnesota Flooring.
And for
For a limited time, Minnesota Flooring is offering you unbelievable pricing on tile and laminate. Porcelain tile only $1.59. Ceramic tile 99 cents. And 16 by 16 tile $1.19. Laminate flooring is only 99 cents. But these prices won't last. Don't miss out on these great deals. Hurry into Minnesota Flooring today.
Let me introduce you to the ultimate Florida window. Do you feel safer with this or this? You'll be proud too.
Buy more, save more. Volume discounts on 4 or more windows.
You love your couch and want to protect it from spills, food, and scratching, shedding pets. Introducing Couch Coat, the reversible, washable quilted cover that protects your couch. Shield against spills, wow, stop stains, and dirty pet paws and sharp claws. Plus, it's reversible with 2 stylish colors. Guaranteed to fit any couch up to 92 inches or your money back. It even has covers to protect armrests. Machine washable too.
My grandkids destroy everything, but with Couch Coat, my couch is always protected, looking as good as it did the day I bought it.
Get your Couch Coat for just $19.99, and it's reversible in brown and cream, like 2 couch coats for the price of 1. Order right now, and you can double your offer. Get a second Couch Coat. Just pay a separate fee. Order right now.
Call 1-800-943-0710 to get your couch coat. Call now or go to couchcoat.com. So call 1-800-943-0710. That's 1-800-943-0710. Call now.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So if you remember, these numbers that you see before you are about where we were yesterday in terms of temperature. However, there is one little difference, and that is the temperature and dew point are exactly the same. Temperature is at 62, dew point is at 62, 100% relative humidity, and with fairly light winds out there, we do have some fog across the region. It's not really thick, dense fog at the present time, but it can limit visibilities, especially with those high beam headlights. If you turn those on, then you're really going to get the reflection of those tiny little cloud droplets on the ground. So, lower beam headlights, ease up on the speed, and you'll be just fine. We don't see really, like zero visibility fog across the region, but the further inland you go, the thicker that fog will become. Across the region, 58 degrees Gainesville, Jacksonville 65, 67 degrees in Tallahassee. You got some cloud cover up there this morning. That's kind of keeping things a little bit warmer. Yesterday they were in the 50s. Today they are not. We do have 150, 58 degrees in Gainesville, 66 Daytona, 64 in Orlando, 67 Tampa. So you get the picture. 60s over most of the peninsula this morning. And certainly locally, 62 Wauchula, 62 Arcadia, 62 Mayaca, 62 Bradenton, 62 Sarasota. The temperatures are fairly uniform. We have a wind now coming in over land off the south, and that's going to help, I think, over the course of the afternoon, raise our humidities and begin to set the stage for that transition into cooler temperatures. One of the things we have to get through first before we get those cooler temperatures is a little rainfall. Well, we're not going to catch a lot of that today. Titan radar is pretty quiet. You look back to the east and there are a few scattered showers, but unlike yesterday when those were kind of rolling on shore slowly as they dissipated, they're kind of paralleling the coast this morning, kind of an indication of that switching weather pattern, that southerly wind flow in advance of the front that's still located back to the north. Lots of cloud cover and rain showers stretching from Texas all the way up the eastern seaboard, thanks to that slowly descending frontal boundary. That'll take a couple of days to actually move through the state of Florida, even though right now it's in the panhandle. That's how long it's going to take, how slowly it's moving. It needs another little kind of reinforcing impulse to finally push it through. And that will come in the form of some showers back in Texas, kind of developing and gaining strength. And as that rolls along the front, it'll help to finally push it southward. Winds will actually develop out of the southwest a little bit later on today, and that will help to roll a few showers our way as we head into, well, tomorrow, but particularly on Friday. So mostly sunny skies today, more clouds tomorrow. That'll limit our temperatures a little bit. And then the cold rains will come our way Friday, particularly Friday night into Saturday morning before we see some clearing and we see those cooler temperatures roll in. We'll look for a southeast wind switching south on open waters today, only at about 5 knots. So not a bad day for boating, actually. Get it in because the winds are going to start increasing as we head into the weekend. One thing to note, after those temperatures drop into the 60s, they're going to stay there for a while. At least a couple of days before they try to bump back up into the 70s. And you see Tuesday's temperature at 72 and think, oh, warm up. No, there are more fronts on the way. So this is going to be an extended cooler period. Back to you.
Oh boy, thanks for the warning, John. Checking first alert traffic right now. Nothing major to report in Manatee County. All clear at this hour of the day. Checking farther south, little blip there on Fruitville Road, the eastbound lane as you take off from 301. Also Clark Road, some congestion westbound around Beneva. And our final map to the south shows us all clear conditions at 5:15 on your Wednesday morning.
And we all know that holiday decorations are a great way to get into the Christmas spirit, but they can be a little dangerous.
Hey, that's no fun. House fires happen more during the holiday season than any time during the year. So here are some tips. Use only non-flammable decorations. Check holiday lights for frayed wires or excessive wear, and don't link more than 3 strands. Never leave a burning candle unattended. You can always use battery-powered candles.
Good idea.
If you have a natural Christmas tree, keep it away from a heat source and water it daily to keep it from becoming dry. But battery-powered candles aren't quite the same feel.
Right. You just have to imagine and feel a little safer.
A lot of pretending there.
Yes, yes.
Well, UPS is a little behind schedule after last week's surge in online orders.
On Tuesday, the company said that some of its packages will be delivered 1 to 2 days late. Of course, the holidays are already extra busy due to all those gifts being sent, but the growing popularity of online shopping has made for even more packages to deliver. The company has added around 95,000 seasonal workers across the country for the holidays and predicts it will deliver just 750 million packages between Thanksgiving and Christmas. The company is trying to clear a Cyber Week backlog. UPS believes it's just a small percentage of the packages that will end up being delayed. The company says deliveries should be back on track by the end of the day today, and it still expects most of them to be shipped between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Everything should arrive pretty much on time.
Here are some shipping deadlines of the major delivery companies. If using FedEx, same-day service allows you to ship on Christmas Day. For UPS, get a quote that compares shipping charges and delivery time to make sure your package arrives in time for Christmas. Most major carriers have a complete list of their shipping deadlines on their websites. And here's a tip. Free shipping day is December 15th. Did you realize that?
I did not know that. I'm marking that in my calendar.
Good to know.
Yes, good to know.
More than 600 online merchants will take part in that, offering hundreds of items that will arrive by Christmas Eve when shipped for free, again on December 15th. Now, bringing your Christmas tree from the lot to home can be more dangerous than it sounds.
That is right. Debris, including improperly secured Christmas trees, caused more than 200,000 crashes over the past 4 years. So here are some tips for safely securing and moving your tree. First, use the right vehicle. Anything with a roof rack, a pickup bed, or a vehicle large enough to house the tree, maybe in the interior. Use quality tie downs. Your arm does not count. Avoid lightweight twine used by tree vendors. Go for strong ropes or nylon, and make sure you test it. Tug at that tree to make sure that it's secured tightly before you hit the road. And then, of course, the most important, drive slowly and maybe use some of those back roads a little bit with a little less traffic in case anything goes wrong. And while some kids may be afraid of Santa, it just might be Santa's turn to be a little afraid after this letter.
There's an NPR reporter and mother named Sarah McCammon who posted a letter to Santa written by her kid that said, "Santa, I'm doing this for the class. I know you're naughty, life is empty, and your good list is empty, and your life is empty. You don't know the trouble I've had in my life. Goodbye." That trouble, according to the kid's mother, is the child's troublesome brother.
Wow.
The letter is adorned with jolly wreaths on one side and skulls on the other. So Turns out a brother got involved in that one. Having 3 brothers of my own, I understand that.
Right. There's a lot on that naughty list this year.
Yes.
All right, still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast. 'Tis the season for lists, and Twitter is out with their best list of 2017. We'll tell you just who has the most liked tweet of the year, who was the most tweeted about person of the year, and just why chicken nuggets make that list.
Ah, there's a tease for you. And next half hour, President Trump plans to announce a big shift in Israel that comes with repercussions. A closer look at 5:33.
It's the holiday sales event here at Alex Karras Lincoln. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKX Sport Utility for $349 per month, or Lincoln's flagship, the 2017 Continental, for $449 per month. We have a great selection of certified pre-owned Lincolns. These vehicles have warranties up to 100,000 miles and come with complimentary roadside assistance. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury. Winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Suncoast since 1978. We are located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
Attention type 2 diabetics. The FDA warns of an increased risk of amputation associated with certain diabetes medications. If you took the diabetes medications Invokana or Invokamet and then suffered an amputation or one of these other serious injuries, call the Rely On Group right now. If you've suffered amputation or any of these other injuries after taking your diabetes medication, call the Rely On Group today. You may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-604-1698. That's 800-604-1698.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Good kisses. Good kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. Yeah. It was the...
Is that bacon?
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Invest in Kids is a $7.5 million project to build a new Boys and Girls Club in South Manatee County. I'm Caleb Grimes, and I was a club kid. It's where I learned important life lessons, leadership, integrity, responsibility, and baseball. Thousands of kids attend the Boys and Girls Clubs, and after years of use, their club is slowly falling apart. Help us invest in kids. Make your donation today.
And the foolishly festive Christmas parade took place last night at Esplanade Golf and Country Club in Lakewood Ranch.
500 people came out to watch this, and of course, what would be Christmas without the Oscar Mayer Wiener Mobile? Who invited that thing? Also, Mr. Peanut, of course, the Marauders mascot, the Bradenton Bombers roller derby team, a resident kazoo band.
Right.
An ugly sweater brigade, of course, decorated golf carts. Having some fun last night in Lakewood Ranch. Some random characters last night, bringing the season in.
That is right. 'Tis the season for all those great parades and events.
So this was sent to us by one of the viewers, one of you folks. So don't forget to send your pictures and videos. We'll air them right there. Any events you might have, you want coverage, you can always send us pictures if we can't get there with the camera. There's our different addresses on Twitter and Facebook. We're going to add Stephanie's address as well at some point soon right there on our Facebook options.
That's right, and it especially includes all of the season's holiday events. You can find parades, you can find closings and openings, all your local headlines, all your breaking news. Just download the updated version of our app. Now, iPhone users, you need to go to the App Store and re-download the app. Just search for WWSB or My Suncoast. Android users, you will get that update automatically. And it is 5:23. Welcome back. Google's feud with Amazon seems to be growing as the two tech giants start pulling support for each other.
ABC's Candace Gibson and Diane Macedo have the story.
In today's Tech Bites, a battle brewing between two tech giants.
Google is pulling YouTube from Amazon streaming devices, and Amazon has stopped selling Google Nest devices. The companies have been battling each other as Google moves further into e-commerce and Amazon expands into online advertising. And speaking of tech rivalries, Instagram is copying Snapchat's Memories feature.
Instagram stories will now automatically archive users' content to a private part of their profile, allowing them to also create highlights. And Twitter's list of the top tweets for 2017 now out.
The most liked tweet belonged to former President Obama. It read, "No one is born hating another person."
And President Trump was the most tweeted about elected world leader.
And the most retweeted tweet was from Carter Wilkinson, who asked for retweets in order to get a year of free Wendy's chicken nuggets. And it worked.
Yes, it did. Those are your Tech Bites.
Have a great day.
Tech Bites, brought to you by Chanel.
This is a man's world. This is a man's world, nah. But it won't mean nothing, nothing without a woman or a girl.
Coco Mademoiselle. Chanel.
At Chanel.com.
Woo! Testing, testing. Is this thing on?
Huh?
Come on, your turn. Woo!
Where do pencils go on vacation?
Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania.
Frosted just right, crunch in every bite. Kellogg's Frosted Mini Wheats.
It's great to finally meet you. Your parents have been talking about you for years.
They're all about me saving for a house or starting a college fund for my son.
Actually, I want to know what you're thinking.
Knowing that the most important goals are yours. It's how Edward Jones makes sense of investing.
During the past 10 years, Tidewell Hospice volunteers have provided more than 1 million hours of service. They sit with patients, giving caregivers a break. They work in offices. They take their furry friends on pet therapy visits. They even clown around. Every task performed by a volunteer makes a difference in the lives of our patients and their families. Join Tidewell's volunteer team. They're truly 1 in a million. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
This is an important medical announcement. Talcum powder products from some of the best-known brands have been linked to ovarian cancer. Any woman who has used a talcum powder product and has been diagnosed with ovarian cancer may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that women with long-term use of talcum powder, including baby powder for feminine hygiene, can increase the risk of contracting ovarian cancer. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to women who should have been warned about the risks of ovarian cancer with long-term use of talcum powder. Call the Talcum Powder Hotline. If you or a loved one used talcum powder and were diagnosed or died from ovarian cancer, you must call now.
Call 800-570-7599. 800-570-7599.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Letting my friends online know I was quitting kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it. You can too.
For free help, visit cdc.gov/tips.
All right, crew, let's get started. Sure.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, restaurant guide, and more. Go to mysuncoast.com/dining.
Coming up on Good Morning Suncoast, making the news this morning, the mystery continues surrounding a body found off Egmont Key.
Plus, we'll talk about some local inmates who have their own tablets to take classes and communicate with loved ones. But who's paying for these?
And the latest on those devastating California wildfires. Those stories and more right now on Good Morning Suncoast.
Live from the ABC 7 studios, this is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
It is 5:29. Welcome back. I'm Stephanie Webb.
I'm Ray Collins. It is Green Day today here on the set.
It is. That's right. We're going green. I can't step in front of the weather chroma key, though.
I know.
I will disappear.
That might be fun to do, though.
Yeah, we might have to play with that later
Just for
on.
your head only, right?
Right.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
John Scalzi knows all about the chroma key. Good morning, John.
Good morning to you both. Got a little fog out there. If you want to disappear, that's the way to do it, too. Some of the visibility is kind of down to about 3/4 of a mile or less. It kind of comes and goes, ebbs and flows. Sarasota, an hour ago, was at 0.75 miles. Now it's at 3 miles. But Punta Gorda has gone from 3 miles down to 1.5. You get the picture. It kind of comes, goes, ebbs and flows. The fog breathes, if you will. And if you're traveling along, it could come up on you pretty quickly in some locations and then disappear just as fast. 65 degrees in Mayaca, Longboat Key at 67, Bradenton 65, Sarasota's at 62, Punta Gorda's at 62, similar to where we were yesterday. A lot more cloud cover to the north. You see that rain shower activity in Gulf waters. That's on the way. We'll talk about the timing in just a few minutes. For today, though, not too bad. It'll probably be a rain-free day with daytime highs in the 80s. Once again, low 80s. Probably the last day we'll see 80s, though. We'll talk about it in a minute.
And the big shift begins. Thank you, John. Checking the roads, you'll see some problems there up by Ellington, the 301 area as you go under the overpass at 75. Around the mall, some congestion there. Otherwise, 64 westbound as you get out of downtown Bradenton. Northern Sarasota County, nothing much to speak of right now at this hour of the day. And then farther south, our final map will show us a couple of slowdowns on 41 in both directions. 5:30 right now on your Wednesday morning.
Topping our news this half hour, the latest on those California wildfires.
Thousands have now been forced from their homes as the flames have burned 50,000 acres and counting.
Overnight, California wildfires exploded in size, raging out of control.
We just packed up and everybody's gone, and I'm just kind of sticking around and making sure that everything's okay. It's really dangerous.
The Thomas Fire in Ventura County jumped major highways, took over hillsides, and lit up the night sky. More than 55,000 acres, 70 square miles of Ventura north of Los Angeles, are burning. 150 structures damaged or destroyed, 12,000 threatened.
It's just devastating. This was going to be my die-in house. The only thing is the house died before I did.
The Creek Fire in LA County has ripped through 11,000 acres, dozens of homes gone. Ferocious Santa Ana winds and dry conditions fueling 4 wildfires in Southern California, sparking a state of emergency. KABC reporter Jade Hernandez along the 101 where the flames are burning on both sides of the highway.
You can see behind me, this is where the flames jumped the freeway.
150,000 people told to leave their homes and evacuate.
We have not lost lives. Do not wait. Leave your homes.
People rush to save their property and their animals.
It's craziness. I just don't know where to go. I don't know where to take them.
But this horse forced to fend for itself. Thousands of firefighters working to get the upper hand. Tough conditions expected through the end of the week. Some relief for firefighters today. The winds are not expected to be as strong, but tomorrow that will change. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, Washington.
President Trump is expected today to recognize Jerusalem, not Tel Aviv, as the capital of Israel. He also plans to move the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem as well. A 1995 law passed by Congress to move the capital to Jerusalem has been postponed every 6 months by each U.S. president, citing national security concerns. But today, President Trump is expected to lay the groundwork for its move finally, but reaction is mixed.
Now, if this step is really taken by President Trump, he will be burning the last card that America can play to help peace. And America, therefore, will have to get out or of the way for peace in the Middle East.
I thank you from the bottom of my heart for your commitment and intention to officially recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel.
Now, the State Department already issued a travel warning for Jerusalem and the West Bank, and U.S. troops are standing by after Palestinian factions call for protests and demonstrations and 3 days of rage after the president's expected announcement today.
Donald Trump Jr. is preparing to meet with the House Intelligence Committee today. He's set to appear before the panel for a closed-door interview regarding the Russia probe. Today's meeting with that is similar to the one in September with the Senate Judiciary Committee. Trump Jr., who denies any wrongdoing, faces a growing amount of questions about his meeting with Russian operatives at Trump Tower during the 2016 campaign. House and Senate committees have already interviewed several of the participants in that meeting. As for the cost of the Russia probe so far, according to numbers that the Justice Department released on Tuesday, the federal government has spent almost $7 million over the past 5 months investigating Russian meddling in the presidential election. Special counsel Robert Mueller spent over $3 million between May and September, and nearly another $4 million has separately been spent by law enforcement personnel who do not directly report to Mueller. They've been working on the investigation. Mueller was appointed in May to lead that investigation. 2 suspects were detained in London and in Birmingham and charged with attempting to assassinate British Prime Minister Theresa May. Now, the attack would have involved using a bomb disguised as a bag that would have gone off in Downing Street. In the ensuing chaos, the Prime Minister would have been attacked with knives if that plan had taken place. Now, the plans were revealed by the head of MI5, who told the cabinet that 9 terrorist plots have been foiled in the UK just in the last year.
The International Olympic Committee has ruled that Russian athletes will compete at the upcoming Winter Games, but as neutrals. The move comes after the IOC found the country ran an orchestrated doping program in 2014 at the Sochi Games. Some competitors will be invited to take part as an Olympic athlete from Russia without their national flag or the anthem if they win. Russia could refuse the offer and boycott the game still. In fact, President Vladimir Putin has previously said it would be humiliating for Russia to compete without national symbols. The IOC also imposed a fine of $15 million on the Russian Olympic Committee.
A new Harvard University poll finds that millennials are now the largest bloc of voters, and they tend to be more democratic in their voting. 65% of 18 to 29-year-olds polled identified as Democrat, and 33% identified as Republican. Factors include a growing number of Hispanic and African American voters who largely identify as Democrat. So why the more liberal lean for the younger generation? Well, according to the poll, fears for the future and disapproval of President Trump were leading the factors for younger voters leaning left. Issues such as gun control and global warming are the top concerns amongst millennials. They feel that Congress has largely ignored those issues. Kroger is recalling a brand of water for infants after a mold discovery. Comforts for Baby purified water with fluoride was sold in 1-gallon clear containers that you see right here, but the FDA says the mold is not visible to the naked eye. After receiving customer complaints, the grocery store chain tested the water, identified the mold, which the FDA says exposure to can cause skin and respiratory irritation. Infants with an already compromised immune system may be more at an increased risk, according to officials. Kroger has since pulled the product from its shelves, but if you've already bought the water, you can return it to the store for a full refund. More details about the recall can be found online at fda.gov. And Ford is recalling over 100,000 of their 2016 SUV and truck models. Certain 2016 F-150 pickups and Explorers are being recalled due to a faulty bolt in the front seat, which could lead to dangerous shifting in the event of an accident. So far, Ford says it's not aware of any crashes or injuries related to this faulty bolt. But if you think your vehicle may contain this issue, local Ford dealers will fix the problem free of charge. You can also identify if your vehicle is actually part of this recall. You can plug your vehicle's 17-digit serial number in at nhtsa.gov.
Legislation to create a memorial to slavery at the state capitol has passed its first Senate committee. The bill would develop a plan for a permanent slavery memorial at the Capitol complex in Tallahassee. Now, a local state senator whose district runs into the Suncoast is pushing the plan.
This Senate bill provides legislative intent, first, to recognize the fundamental injustice, cruelty, brutality, and inhumanity of slavery in the United States and the American colonies, including Florida.
The slavery memorial bill has 2 more committee stops before it's ready for a vote by the full Senate. In the House, the legislation has passed all committees already. A grand jury will convene later on this month in Tallahassee to consider charges in the death of a Florida State student, a fraternity pledge, that is. The state attorney is investigating Andrew Coffey's death. The 20-year-old died last month when he was found unresponsive after a party. Florida State immediately suspended its fraternities and sororities. Some of those who attended the party have been subpoenaed to testify before the grand jury later on this month. That body found off Egmont Key last weekend was not the body of a missing boater from Manatee County. FWC says a body was found early Sunday by a passerby. Officials say the body is a white male in the 60s. Last month, the Coast Guard was looking for a missing boater from Cortez who matches that description. However, they now say it is not 64-year-old Frazier Horn of Manatee County. He is still missing, though his boat has been found.
For years, there's been different controversies surrounding greyhound racing here in Florida. Now, a new study is causing even more concern for the industry and for the health of the dogs. A recent report by nonprofit animal advocate Gray 2K shows over the past 10 years, more than 800 dogs have been tested positive for drugs. 8 greyhounds tested positive right here on the Suncoast at the Sarasota Kennel Club. The drugs found in the dog system include cocaine, opioids, Novocaine, and lidocaine. Carrie Thiel, the executive director of Gray 2K, says that when the numbers are broken down further, the information is even more disturbing.
It's deeply troubling that we've seen 71 greyhound cocaine positives over the last year, including 68 greyhound cocaine positives in Florida. This is a serious narcotic. It's dangerous to the health and welfare of these dogs. It's obviously something that calls into question the integrity of the bets being placed at these tracks.
Representatives from Gray 2K and the Humane Society of the United States were on the Suncoast yesterday hosting a grassroots meeting at Cat Depot about this issue.
Well, this story is drawing mixed reactions. Inmates at the Charlotte County Jail now have access to tablets to take classes and communicate with loved ones. Each of the 660 inmates has access to his or her own device. They don't have access to the internet or games or movies. A captain in the sheriff's office says they aren't paid for by taxpayers.
We do not pay a dime for any of these devices. The company provides them for free.
And jail guards say they keep a close eye on those tablets. All right. So this is the last day of nice weather, then a sharp turn happens.
Yeah. Not so much a sharp turn. It's kind of a wide
twist.
right-hand turn. A slow right.
All right.
Going this way.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's going to take a couple of days for that really colder air to move in, but you'll notice changes occurring each and every day over the next several days.
This is good football weekend weather, too.
Absolutely.
Buccaneers have a home game against the Detroit Lions.
From what I hear for you, any
weather.
weekend is a good football weekend.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. You know, the months of August through January are good.
We have some changing weather that'll make it feel very winter-like, I think. We'll talk about in a second.
All right, also still ahead, first alert traffic and an update on that mega merger between CVS and Aetna.
We're going to tell you how this merger will affect your health care up next in Health Smart.
What to do when your heating or air conditioning needs service or, heaven forbid, replacement? Call Air Now today. We've been serving Sarasota and Manatee County since 1946. We offer $49.95 tune-ups, lease or finance options, and remember, service today or it's free.
It's the holiday sales event here at Alex Karras Lincoln. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKC Sport Utility for $269 per month or a 2017 MKZ for $279 per month. We have a great selection of certified pre-owned Lincolns. These vehicles have warranties up to 100,000 miles and come with complimentary roadside assistance. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury, winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Suncoast since 1978. We are located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
Do you have type 2 diabetes, which requires daily blood monitoring? If you have diabetes, are you on Medicare, Obamacare, or other health insurance? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for diabetic testing supplies at little to no out-of-pocket cost to you. Our accredited staff will handle all of your paperwork for free. And best of all, your diabetic testing supplies are shipped directly to your home for free. Call now to see if you qualify for a meter upgrade and a free pedometer to monitor your daily walking. Use alternate testing sites, a smaller blood sample, and even hear your results out loud. Will you qualify for diabetic testing supplies and an upgraded meter covered by Medicare, Obamacare, or health insurance at little to no out-of-pocket cost to you?
Find out for free by calling the Diabetes Resource Center at 1-800-394-1098. That's 1-800-394-1098, 1-800-394-1098.
What if you had a medical emergency away from home?
My chest hurts. I can't breathe.
What you need is Mobile Help, America's premier mobile medical alert system. Most systems only work at home, but with Mobile Help, you get help outside the home with coverage nationwide on one of the largest cellular networks at the press of a button. Call the number on your screen for a free full-color brochure. We'll send you everything you need, including this base station, the patented mobile device, and the waterproof pendant and wrist button. You can also add the fall button that automatically detects falls and signals help. Call today and receive a risk-free 30-day trial. There is no equipment to buy and no long-term contract. For a limited time, you will also receive a free emergency key box with your plan purchase. Remember, Mobile Help keeps you safe coast to coast.
Call 1-800-916-8638. That's 1-800-916-8638.
Let me introduce you to the ultimate Florida window. Do you feel safer with this or this? You'll be proud too.
Buy more, save more. Volume discounts on 4 or more windows.
Serving part-time as a soldier in the Army National Guard can give you a head start on your career. Gain practical experience with technology and equipment to get an edge in the civilian world. Learn about the paid training and career opportunities available to you at nationalguard.com.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
A 62-degree air temperature, a dew point to match. 62 and 62 gives 100% relative humidity. Is over can, right? The amount of moisture that is in the air over the amount of moisture that could be in the air. And that means that we have fog around in some places. The fog is not really terribly thick. We're not talking zero visibility, nothing like that. But in some places, at times, it could reduce your visibility to 3/4 mile and maybe require you to ease up on the pedal just a little bit. So as you begin your morning commute this morning, bear that in mind. Could come up on you. 58 degrees in Gainesville, 68 degrees in Tallahassee, 65 Panama City, Jacksonville the same. And as you progress south, those temperatures are kind of uniform. We have a nice southerly wind flow all the way up the state, and that's kind of giving us a fairly uniform temperature structure, especially from south to north, but also from east to west. 62, Wauchula, Arcadia, Mayaca at 63, Sarasota at 62, and Bradenton at 61 with 66 degrees in Venice. Not much in the way of a rainfall chance for us today. The rain showers, as you notice, are kind of moving parallel to the coast as opposed to moving more in a westerly direction today. That's an indication of those winds that are now up out of the south. They're feeding the frontal boundary and this trough of low pressure across the eastern seaboard stretching back into Texas with moisture to produce the rain showers that we see here. It's been a very rainy 24 hours in the northeast and along the eastern seaboard today. Our airport hubs of Raleigh, Durham, Charlotte could be impacted by the rain showers, low-hanging clouds, that sort of thing. But the Atlanta airport's looking pretty good right now. The frontal boundary continues to press south ever so slowly. It'll take several days before it actually clears the state of Florida, even though it's already started to move into the state of Florida. We have a little disturbed weather back in Texas. That area of disturbed weather will slowly move toward the east, and as it does so, it'll provide the extra little bit of energy necessary to finally push this front through here as it develops a low off the Carolina coast. That's what we'll need to finally get the front through. When that happens, our winds will switch from the southerly direction to a more northwesterly direction, and then boom, the colder air will arrive. That will start probably on about Friday night into Saturday day. Weekend looks like it's going to be a very cool weekend indeed, with kind of a wet drizzle, cold rain during the first half of the day and then clearing the second half of the day on Saturday. So mostly sunny today. More clouds around tomorrow, dropping our temperature a few degrees. And then that cold rain arriving on Friday, which will really start to cool things off. As far as the futurecast goes, today we stay clear, and then we'll wait for that larger scale mass of rain showers to sink southward on Friday. For boating, not too bad. South wind coming in at about 5, light chop, 2-foot seas. Forecast for the week ahead calls for that excellent rain chance Friday night. Yes, Friday night into Saturday morning. It could be a cold rain, and daytime highs start to lower on Saturday to the mid-60s. Back to you.
Thank you, John. Checking first alert traffic right now. You'll see a little buildup there on 64 eastbound as you come across the Perico Island area. Otherwise pretty clear in Manatee County. Checking farther south in the northern half of Sarasota County, we'll see some buildup along the Bayfront as you get back toward 301 and 41. Otherwise pretty clear at this hour of the day. And South County, you'll only see a problem there way out on Clark Road on the eastbound lane as you head back toward the interstate.
In this hour's Health Smart, it's a mega merger that will shake up healthcare, and CVS's $69 billion deal to buy Aetna may end up benefiting its consumers. For example, Aetna could leverage CVS's pharmacies and clinics to help patients stick to their medications, and then down the road, that might even lead to better care and lower premiums. Other reports speculate that the combined company could offer discounted prescription drugs. Another possible benefit, existing Aetna members could get their prescription drugs through CVS Caremark. That's the chain's pharmacy benefits online manager. And that could put pressure on rival insurers to lower some of the drug costs. And don't forget CVS walk-in clinics. Aetna members could have access to those as well, making it easier to receive preventative care.
Some disturbing numbers here. A new study finds that smoking cigarettes and daily use of marijuana are strongly linked. A new survey found smokers are 7 times more likely to use pot daily than non-smokers. Now, this relationship was found to be especially strong among young people between the ages of, wait for it, 12 and 17. Whoa. Young smokers were more than 50 times more likely to use marijuana daily than their non-smoking peers.
And if you love cheese like I do, we have good news and bad news for you. A new study published in the European Journal of Nutrition suggests that eating 40 grams of cheese per day could totally help your heart risk of stroke or heart disease. That all went down with cheese connoisseurs, according to the story. Now, though that's great news for cheese lovers, 40 grams of cheese is an awful lot to eat every day and isn't actually recommended. It's high in saturated fats, and the American Heart Association recommends only 5 to 6% of your daily calorie intake should come from those fats.
Cheese is my undoing. Cheese is why my suits are tight.
Mine too. I just have 40 grams of cheese. That's like large blocks of cheese you have to eat every day.
I can sit down and consume a block of cheese with crackers.
Me too. That's our new breakfast.
Good idea. All right, 9 minutes to 6 right now. Still head your top headlines, and this returning soldier gave a girlfriend quite a surprise during the 76ers game.
That's right. We're going to have their special reunion and amazing moment right after this.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com. AND services.com.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help. With Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sunny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
I was always worried and scared. Mom was in pain. She wasn't going to get any better, and all the trips to the ER were painful for all of us. Then we called Tidewell Hospice, and everything changed. Now she has care in our home when she needs it, surrounded by family. We know we don't have much time left with Mom, but we decided to make the best out of that time. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
This is an important medical announcement. Talcum powder products from some of the best-known brands have been linked to ovarian cancer. Any woman who has used a talcum powder product and has been diagnosed with ovarian cancer may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that women with long-term use of talcum powder, including baby powder for feminine hygiene, can increase the risk of contracting ovarian cancer. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to women who should have been warned about the risks of ovarian cancer with long-term use of talcum powder. Call the Talcum Powder Hotline. If you or a loved one used talcum powder and were diagnosed or died from ovarian cancer, you must call now.
Call 800-570-7599. 800-570-7599.
It's time to pick up an Angel Tree gift tag at ABC 7 or Sunset Kia in Sarasota, Bradenton, or Venice to see what a local child or senior citizen is wishing for this holiday season.
From ABC 7, thank you for your generosity and happy holidays.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com. AND services.com.
Well, I told you I broke curfew 2 nights ago. This is the picture I took.
That's beautiful. Did you take that with your phone?
Yeah, I'm
that
telling
really
you.
turned out well.
Samsung has a better camera than iPhone, I'm convinced.
You might be right on that. That's a great picture. You never get those with the moon usually.
Right, that's Sarasota Bay looking back toward downtown from a restaurant there on Longboat Key. Nice night, but as John tells us, things are going to be veering toward a different direction now.
That is
weather-wise.
right. That is right.
Yep.
And of course, here are some of the top stories that we're following for you on the Suncoast today.
Marilyn Good of Siesta Key has won the Democratic primary to replace Alex Miller in the local state House race. She now faces a Republican and a Libertarian candidate in the general election on February 13th.
Plus, the Sarasota Herald Tribune is reporting that one of the women who accused Sarasota County School Superintendent Todd Bowden of sexual harassment has filed a discrimination complaint against the school district. The newspaper reports that Lena Jimenez Ruiz said administrators tried to retaliate against her after her initial allegations against Bowden.
And a search is on for 2 men who held up an AT&T store in Parrish last night. The armed robbers escaped with cash and cell phones. And finally, a soldier surprised his Philadelphia 76er girlfriend, who's a dancer there. Watch this. Sergeant Elliot Burgess returned from an overseas deployment in Kuwait and didn't tell her. Girlfriend of 3 years there, he surprised her at the game in front of 20,000 people. She seemed pleased, jumped right in his arms. Oh, my back.
Hello.
That was during the first quarter break. Yeah, how about that for a nice return?
I love those reunion stories. I love the ones where like the moms and the dads go into like the classroom for the kids. I love those.
I know.
Very sweet.
All right, more of John's forecast, more local news in 2 minutes. Stay with us. Good morning, folks.